are again. Such that f of x is equal to minimum of sin inverse x comma cos inverse x for all x belongs to 0 to 1. And for the rest, we'll define it by using this part that the fundamental period is 1. Then, which of the following options is asked? This will be changed mostly. This will be changed to incorrect, and the answer will be B, C, D. So, Lagrange's mean value theorem can be applied for an interval x from x2 where x from x2 belongs to this set. Rolle's mean value theorem can be applied. Number of non-differentiable points in open minus 3 by 2 to 3 by 2 for the curve g of x equal to modulus of f of x minus 5x. We have to just find the number of it. So first we'll go for this part. So graph I'll try to draw minimum of sin inverse x comma cos inverse x. So this is the function y is equal to minimum of sin inverse x comma cos inverse. In between 0 to 1, this will be the function. And because the fundamental period is 1, I'll extend it. So as we know, in between minus pi by 4 to pi by 4. In between minus pi by 4 to pi by 4. I can take some interval. That is, I can take some alpha to beta and use LMVT because it is continuous and differentiable in that interval. But in order to find out whether Rolle's theorem is applicable or not, see, I'll take any two values. Say I'm taking these two values. This value and this value, whose functional values are equal. So what will happen in this part now? I can't apply Rolle's mean value theorem because even though the functional values are equal, it is not differentiable. The slope might be 0 or may not be 0. In this particular case, it won't be 0. But even though the functional values are equal, it is not differentiable at this point, and hence I can't use Rolle's mean value theorem for whatever x1, x2 you took. Coming to the next C and D option. Modulus of f of x minus 5s. So first I'll draw y is equals to f of x minus 5s. This is the graph of y is equals to f of x minus 5s. I'll just shift this graph by 5s downwards. So this will be the graph. At 1 by 2 it will be 0. Again at root 3 by 2 it will be 0. And at 0 it will attain the value minus 5s. Because 0 here it attains the value 0. And then again if I take modulus for this, the ones which are negative will come off. This will be the graph. So this is minus 3 by 2 and this is 3 by 2. In between, I'll get this graph, including or whatever positive values for them. That is, this part will get inverted. I'll get this part of it. So, number of non-differentiable points here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can't directly conclude it's a sharp edge here. But what will happen? None. Sin inverse x or cos inverse x. Derivative will never be 0. This derivative will be 1 by root 1 minus x square and this derivative will be minus 1 by root 1 minus x. So we can directly conclude that suppose I'm taking at 0. 0 minus the slope is negative and 0 plus the slope is 0 minus the slope is positive and 0 plus the slope is negative, and hence it won't be a differentiable point. It will be a non-differentiable point. So the number will be 9. So options B, C, D are false, whereas Lagrange's can be applied. For Lagrange's to be applied, f of x need not be equal to f of x. So I will take some interval in which the function is strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. Question number 50. A differentiable function y is equal to f of x defined from r plus to r. You have to be careful for this one. Passing through 1 comma 1 has its differentiable equation as x dy is equal to 2 times of x square plus 1 dx, x greater than 0. We already mentioned it. Then which of the following options are incorrect? Whenever is having this incorrect, you need to concentrate on this one. Don't make the mistake. Okay, number of real values for x for which y is equal to minus 40 is 1, is 0, maximum slope of the curve is 5 by root 2 and 5 by 2. So we'll go for solving it. This is simple first order differential equation. Or like exact form it can be converted in. dy by dx is nothing but dy by dx, because x is not 0, I can divide it by 0. I'll get dy by dx as 2x plus 1 by x. I'll differentiate it. Integrate it. Y is equal to integral 2x dx is x square, integral 1 by x dx is ln mod x. But because x is greater than 0, I can simply write that ln x. And one thing we can observe, 2x plus 1 by x is always greater than 0. Hence the function is always increasing. As it passes through 1 comma 1, d square y by dx square is equals to 0. When will it be 0? The derivative of this 2 minus 1 by x square is equals to 0. X equal to root 2 is not there in the domain. Minus root 2 is not there in the domain. So at x equal to root 2, dy by dx minimum, not maximum. Dy by dx minimum will be 2 root 2 plus 1 by root. So this is greater than or equal to 5 by root 2. We'll say how many of you won't put the option C tomorrow. So d square y by dx square is equals to 0, x is equals to root 2, dy by dx is greater than or equal to 5 by root. And because the function is always increasing, y is x is equals to 0, the value tends to minus infinity, and x tends to infinity, it will tend to infinity. So in between minus infinity to infinity, the range is R for this, not the codomain, the range is R for this. And hence the function, because it is always increasing, it let in every value only 1. So option A will be true, B will be false, C, minimum value if it is there, it would have been correct. So this is also wrong and this is also wrong. We will go for question number 51. Limit x tends to 0, a tan x plus bx sin square x minus integral 0 to x xt into e power t dt by x power 4 equal to lambda non-zero finite. Then which of the following options is the correct? A equal to 0, b equal to half, lambda is equal to minus 3 and lambda is equal to minus 1 by 3. So, see, this degree is 3. Like whenever we have x power 0 and x tends to 0, I have to concentrate on the lowest degree. This degree is 1, this degree is 3. If I bring this x outside, again this degree will be greater than 1. So I can directly conclude that a coefficient of tan x must be 0. Or else it would have been tending to infinity. It is a finite number, hence a must be 0. So after taking a is equals to 0, we'll go for this part. I have bx sin square x minus x into x, I can bring it outside, it's independent of t. Integral 0 to x t into e power t dt by x power of 4. A is 0. For this value, I'll use L'Hopital rule here. So this will be limit x tends to 0, 2b sin x cos x minus x into e power x by 3x square. So I'll try to use, you can use expansions or you can again use L'Hopital rule part here. But before going for that, I'll use this expansion. 2b times of x minus x cube by 3 factor into 1 minus x square by 2 factor minus x into 1 factor. Here the degree is x square. So here also the degree must be x square. Coefficient of x is here, minus x is there here, and 2b into x is there here. So the coefficient of x must get 0 in this part. So what will we do? 2b minus 1 is equals to 0. A equal to 0 we got from the first equation. 2b minus 1 equal to 0. I'm left over with coefficient of x square. What is coefficient of x square? Here I'll have x into 1, x cube, x power 5. So there won't be any coefficient of x square here. But when it comes here, coefficient of x square will be minus 1. So minus 1 by 3. Lambda is equals to minus 1 by 3. Simple. I just concentrated on the degree and we try to solve it. If you keep on using L'Hopital rule, it might be complicated. We just fill it with expansion. We'll go for question number 52. Let f of x is equals to tan square fractional part of x by x square minus integer part of x square for x greater than 0. For x is equals to 0, something is missing here. Should be 0. Okay, anyway, he's not asking about the continuity at 0 here. So we don't need to go for it. For x is equals to 0, the sum value 1 by root over fractional part of x into part of fractional part of x. For x less than 0, where integer part is EF and fractional part denotes in here. He's asking a limit x tends to 0. So 0 plus what will this part be? This value, this particular value will be 0. So I'll be left with tan square x by x square. Tan square x by x square, which is nothing but 1. When it comes to 0 minus what will happen? Fractional part of x will tend to 1. Fractional part of x will tend to 1, which implies f of 0 minus x. Limit x tends to 0, 0 minus root over We'll calculate it here. What is f of 0 minus? That is limit value I'm calculating. 1 by root over fractional part of x will tend to 1. 1 into cot. So this value is not equal to 1. So option B will be wrong. Coming to C part. 0 minus 1 by f of x, what will it be? Root over cot 1. Cot inverse of root cot 1 whole square. Option C will be cot inverse. Limit value is applying inside. It will be a finite value. I'll get it as root cot 1 whole square. This is nothing but cot 1. Cot inverse cot x is always x. So I'll get C option also. Coming to D part. 1 plus and 1 minus. This part will change. So the entire remaining part will remain the same. Anyway, it attains different values. What will happen? 1 plus. This value tends to 0. And this value tends to x square minus 1. So it's not 0. So the entire value is 0. But coming to 1 minus, this value will tend to 0 and this will be tan square 1. So obviously we need not solve for it. It will be discontinuous at x is equal to 1. Next question, we'll go for 53. Let f of x be the indefinite integral of x plus 1 by ln x power x minus 1 whole square. That's it. F of 1 is equals to 1 where x is greater than. Then different options, limit x tends to 0 plus equal to 0 plus 5 plus again. So okay. X plus 1 by ln of x power x minus 1 whole square. See, the derivative of it must come in the numerator. If I directly differentiate this part, I won't get it because there is no other way to solve it. I need to manipulate the denominator in such a way that the derivative of it will come in the numerator. F dash of x by f of x. So what can we do then? So if we go through this part, is dividing numerator and denominator by x square. It will be integral of 1 by x plus 1 by x square by ln x minus 1 by x whole square. So after this it's easy for us. Ln x derivative is 1 by x minus 1 by x derivative is 1 by x square. If we take this as t, this will be dt. So this function will be simply ln x minus 1 by x. The substitution part. If I integrate it, I'll further get it as integral dt by t square minus 1 by t I'll get. I is equals to minus 1 by ln x minus 1 by x plus c. But here f of 1 is equals to 1. So the c will be 0. And we get I is equals to x by 1 minus x ln. After this you can solve it. Limit x tends to 0 plus it is taken. Limit x tends to 0 plus f of x, what will it be? Limit x tends to 0 plus f of x will be 0 x by 1 minus x ln x. Limit x tends to 0 plus. So 0 plus x ln x value will be tending to 0. We know x power x tends to 1 as x tends to 0. So ln of this part it tends to 0. 0 by 1 minus 0, hence this value will be 0. Limit x tends to infinity is obvious. Limit x tends to infinity. F of x is equals to 1 by x minus ln x. Now this value will tend to 0, but this value will tend to infinity. And this value will again be 0. C option. Integral 1 minus x ln x by x dx is R. So integral 1 by x will be ln x minus integral ln x will be x ln x minus x. Plus, if you manipulate this part again, you will get option C also. D, it will be discontinuous when x ln x is equals to 1. I will get one value for this. You can draw the graph of x power x and observe when will that value be equal to e. So it will be true only for one value, and at that particular value it will be discontinuous. I'll erase it so that there won't be any confusion. Let f of x is equals to x power 4 into 2 plus sin 1 by x if x is not equal to 0, 0 when x is equal to 0. Similar to the previous question which has come. which of the following is the correct? F is differentiable or not? F attains proper absolute minimum value. F attains proper absolute maximum value. There exists no interval minus epsilon to 0, union 0 to epsilon, where epsilon is greater than 0, where F is strictly monotonic. See, all the options are basically concentrating on only one thing. Will it attain absolute minima or maximum? Because if this is attained, like this option can also be, our x is equal to 0 part we can come in. No. One thing we can observe here, at 0, f of 0 is equals to 0. 0 plus and 0 minus, it will be greater than 0 because this is positive and this is also positive. And f of x lies in between 3x power 4 and x power 4 always. Because 2 plus sin 1 by x lies in between 1 and 3. At x is equals to 0, it must be attaining absolute minima at f dash of, and f dash of 0 must be equal to 0. Why? Then, like derivative of 3x x power 4 is equals to 0 at x is equals to 0 and dy dx of 3x power 4 is also equal to 0. And we know it is differentiable. You can do it using first principle. But because it is differentiable at 0, the two functions, f of x derivative will also be 0. And at 0, it attains absolute minimum. F attains proper absolute minimum value at x is equals to 0. Maximum it won't exist. X can tend to infinity at for some value. And again, there exists no interval where f is strictly monotonic. Obviously, like if I take any interval, because at 0 it attains minima, from some minus epsilon to 0, if you take a very small value, minus epsilon to 0, the function will be decreasing. Again, 0 to epsilon, the function will be increasing. After that, it will be random. But in this interval, I can't say it is strictly monotonic because it is decreasing as well as increasing. It is decreasing as well as increasing. So all the options can be told in that part. F is differentiable, Anna. We have no issue because we only need to check at x is equals to 0, and at 0 using first principle you can conclude that the derivative will be 0. F is differentiable in R, it attains absolute minimum. Cos 7, sin of cos x cube, we get some random complex equation. So you don't need to solve it or do anything. X belongs to R minus x, where x is equals to n pi, n belongs to I. He's saying we shouldn't include this, and in this case we should include this. And in this case, random function. I don't think we need to consider nothing. Whenever x is not an integer, it will be this function. When x is an integer, it will be this function. He mentioned this part, integer function. So, okay. F is an even function, odd function. So how will I directly solve it? We'll just check it. F of minus x, what will happen? Firstly, I am taking this function. In the place of x, if I substitute minus x, what will happen? Like if x is equals to n pi, x equal to, in the place of x, if you substitute minus x also, again it will be of the form n pi. So t and minus t, the function will be the same. Again, t and minus t, the function will be the same. This is a constant function. So f of x has only possibility for it to be an even function or neither even nor such, but it can't be odd because this value is not 0. So we'll just check if this part is even or not. I'll substitute in the place of x minus x. What is f of minus x? 3 power of minus x by 2 plus 3 power of x by 2 whole power of 7 into sine of cos of minus x cube. Cos of minus x cube is nothing but again cos of x cube because cos x is an even function. So f of minus x is nothing but f of x, and f of x is an even function. Coming to g of x part, what is happening here? Again, if t doesn't belongs to r minus a, if t belongs to r minus a, minus t will also belong to r minus a. Again, if t belongs to I, minus t will also belong to I. So this function will solve. Again, this function, what is happening here? This function is always sin square x lies in between 1 to 2. Sorry, sin square x lies in between 0 to 1. So this whole function, sin square x by 2, plus 3 by 2 lies in between 3 by 2 to 2. Integer part of it will always be 1 or 2. So see, again, we don't need to solve further. If you observe here, this function, in the place of x, if you substitute minus x, you will get an odd function. That is 5 power of minus x by 3 minus 5 power of x by 3 whole power of 5 into again cos of sine of minus x cube. But because there is a cos here, again it will be cos of sine of x cube. This is minus of the given function g of x, because odd power is there. So if we are getting an odd function for these values, and we are getting, like, if it is always identically 1 or 2, this would have been an even function. But because we gave both combined, it will be neither even nor odd, because it's neither an odd function like this one or an even function like this one. So d is neither even nor odd function, because we are taking it together. We are not taking individually this and this. This will be an odd, this will be an even function, but together it can't be any sort of function. So we go for question number 56. Solution of the differential equation x square by dy plus x square times of x plus y minus y square times of 2x plus y dx equal to 0 is given by C is integration constant. So see, again, whenever it is asking questions related to differential equations in multiple, integration constant part you have to be careful, because this c can be manipulated in any way. I can simply write c by 2x power 4 into y plus x. That will also be the answer. So if you get a single answer, don't just go for it. If it is in multiple, you have to go through the other options also. We'll first solve this question. The given equation, he just manipulates it in such a way. X square y dy, this 2xy square, 1xy square, he brought it here, 1xy square, he just put it here. So that xy square, he brought it here. X square y dy minus y square x dx plus x cube dx plus x square y dx is equal to xy square dx plus y cube dx. In this part, I can observe an x dy minus y dx. So xy times of x dy minus y dx. Because there is this part, I'll either divide it by x square or y square. Plus x square times of x plus y dx is equal to y square times of x plus y dx. After this part, we can manipulate it in this one. xy times of x dy minus y dx by x square and dividing it by x cube equal to y square minus x square by x square times of x plus y into dx. Dividing it by x cube here and there. You observe this, I can write it in terms of y by x whole square minus 1 form. And this x plus y and this x also I can combine it, and I can write it as 1 plus y by x. So fine. After simplification, it will be converted into this form. Integral y by x d of y by x by y by x whole square minus 1 into y by x plus 1 is equal to integral dy by x. And then we can go for solving this. If I take y by x as t, this will be converted into this form. If I take y by x as t, not 1, if I take y by x as t, integral t dt by t square minus 1 into t plus 1 is equal to integral dx by x. So after this part, you can use partial fractions and simplify it. I'll leave the calculation for you. But again, after solving it, this was coming as the answer. A will become as the answer. But again, this 2x by y plus x, I can write it as 2 times of x minus y plus x plus y by y plus x. So this is x minus y by y plus x plus 1. This plus 1, I can write it as log of e. And I can include this part in the integration constant. So in that way, even d is the answer. But in the rest, it's very clear. We have y minus 2x and y minus x by y plus x, but this part was x power 4. No, sorry. This part was y minus 2x. So b and c won't be the answer. But a and d are the same, but integration constants will be different in both the cases. So that is the idea in this question. 57th one. They targets these kinds of questions. You won't go for solving, but once you go through the options, solving the problem will be very easy. If f from 0 to 1 closed to close 0 to infinity, this domain and this particular problem has no issue. But this domain you have to be careful. If it's asking something like open 0 to 1 and if it's asking f of 0, It can't be defined. The question which was asked in the JEE question. So okay, f from close 0 to 1 to close 0 to infinity, f of 0 is equal to 0, f dash of x is greater than 0, and f being twice differentiable have negative second order derivative. He's saying f double dash of x is less than 0 and f dash of x is greater than 0, which implies f dash of x is greater than 0 but decrease. Now, f square of x plus f dash of 1. See, from this function we can't conclude anything. We can't conclude anything about f of x. So you just go through the options first. F dash of 1 is involving tan inverse f of, whenever is involving tan inverse something, my idea is to get something of the form 1 by 1 plus x square. So there's already a 1 by f of x whole square plus 1. So I need to get f dash of x here. So how will I get f dash of x? This is my idea. This f dash of 1, if I send it there, integral 0 to 1, f dash of 1 by f of x whole square plus 1 is less than or equal to. In between 0 to 1, f dash of 1 is always less than or equal to f dash of. Why? Because f dash of x is greater than 0 but is always decreasing. If it is always decreasing, f dash of x will be always greater than or equal to f dash of 1 and less than or equal to f dash of 0. That is not required here though. So integral 0 to 1 f dash of x dx by f of x whole square plus 1. The one which is required to obtain tan inverse of f of x. That part we include. So this is nothing but tan inverse of f of x. F of 0 he gave it as 0. So it will simply be tan inverse of f of 1. This f dash of 1 I will bring it in the denominator. Tan inverse f of 1 by f dash of 1 is greater than or equal to integral 0 to 1 dx by f of x whole square plus 1. And tan inverse f of 1 is less than or equal to f of 1. That option is not there here. But if he is asking that, this will be less than or equal to f of 1 by f dash of 1 also. So option A will be false. Okay. We'll go for the next question. 58th one. Let f of x is equal to x plus 1 if x lies in between 0 to 1 and 2x square minus 6x plus 6 if x lies in between 1 and 2. And g of t is equal to integral t minus 1 to t f of x dx for t belongs to 1 to 2. Which are the following holds good? G of x is continuous and differentiable in 0 to 2. G dash of t vanishes for t equal to 3 by 2 and 2. G of t is maximum at t equal to 3 by 2. So this option I can directly eliminate it. G of x is defined only for x belongs to 1 to 2. He's asking 0 to 2. His idea might be different, but we can directly avoid it. G of t is maximum at t is equals to 3 by 2. G of t is minimum at t is equals to 1. So I'll differentiate this function, g of t, because f of x is a continuous function. I do this graph f of x here. F of x is a continuous function. Hence g dash of t will also be continuous. G dash of t is nothing but f of t minus f of t minus 1. So I have to identify where is f of t and f of t minus 1 is equals to 0. If I observe in the graph, if I draw it, I am getting the value of f of t and f of t minus 1 to be equal at t is equals to 3 by 2 because f of 3 by 2 and f of half is coming out to be equal, and at 2 g dash of t is equals to 0. That is f of 2 and f of 1. F of 1 and f of 2 both are equal. Hence, g dash of 3 by 2 and g dash of 2 is equals to 0. It vanishes at 3 by 2 and 2, but it is attaining maximum minima also we have to plot. G double dash of t I'll find. F dash of t minus f dash of t minus 1. So only the sign I'll observe. At t is equals to 3 by 2. What is f dash of 3 by 2? Slope is 0. What is f dash of 1 by 2? Positive. So 0 minus positive value. G double dash of t will be less than 0. For t is equals to 3 by 2. Hence at 3 by 2 it will attain maximum. And t is equals to 1, what will happen? F dash of 2. Okay. There won't be any 1 value, but at g double dash of x, what is happening? If g double dash of t is less than 0 at 3 by 2 and is greater than 0 for t is equals to 2, it will attain minimum value at t is equals to 2. Because the slope again I have observed. What is happening here? G double dash of 2 will be nothing but f dash of 2 minus f dash of 1. 2 the slope will be positive and 1 the slope will be negative. I'm taking 1 plus and 1 minus kind of. So this part will have sign as positive. If the sign is positive, what will happen? This function will attain minima. Minima at t is equals to 2. But again, that is only local minima. When it's asking the minimum value at t is equals to 1, we can observe it. G dash of t sin if I observe. What is happening? G dash of t. If I substitute t is equals to 1 here, I am getting f of 1 minus f of 0. F of 1 minus f of 0, which is positive. So, t is equals to 1. The slope will be positive. From there, it will be increasing. And again, at t is equals to, roughly I'll draw the graph. The graph will be something like this. 1 to 2 is only there in the domain. So at 1, the value will be g dash of 1 will be starting at some value, integral 0 to 1. And from this part, the function will increase at 3 by 2. The slope will be 0. It attains maximum. And at 2, it will attain some value, which is greater than this one. You can calculate it separately. What is integral 1 to 2? This area, and integral 0 to 1 this area. Basically, is comparing this area and this area. So if you calculate it separately, you will find that the absolute minima is attained at 1 also. So g of t is minimum at t is equals to 1 is also correct. We will go for the matching. Integral 2 to 3 x square dx square root of x power 4 minus x square plus 1. We gave it as I. Then the value of k such that this value is equals to k. So I'll divide it into two parts. I'll take this as I1 and this as I2. I1 if I manipulate, that is if I multiply in the numerator and denominator by x, I'll simply get I in this one. This part is nothing but I. And I2, it's very obvious. If it's 1 by 2 and 1 by 3 and is asking you in this form, you need not calculate it. 1 by 2 to 1 by 3, in the place of x I'll substitute 1 by t. If I substitute 1 by t and manipulate it, I2 I'm getting it as integral 2 to 3 minus x square dx square root over this, which is nothing but minus x. So the function will be I1 minus of minus I1, which is nothing but 2I. So 2I1, k is equals to 2. Coming to this part, the area bounded by y is equals to f of x-axis and y is equals to 1, where f of x is equals to 1 plus integral 1 by x f of t dt by x. So this part, we multiplied by x on both sides. X f of x is equals to x plus integral 1 to t f of t dt. I'll differentiate on both. X f dash of x plus f of x is equals to 1 plus derivative of this is f of x into derivative of x is 1. So f of x gets cancelled. I'll be left over with x into f dash of x is equals to x into f dash of x is equals to 1. F dash of x is equals to 1 by x, and solving it I'll get f of x equal to ln mod x plus c. But again, he won't give the integration constant directly. But in this function, if I substitute x is equals to 1, I'll get f of 1 is equals to 1. So if I use that hint here, I'll get the integration constant as 1. So f of x equal to ln of mod x plus 1. This is the graph of f of x is equals to ln mod x plus 1. And this is the area is asking. From minus 1 to 1 is asking what is the area included.